Good morning and welcome to TARDIS Spider. I'm Terry, and today, villains in Doctor Who. Now, I have identified 5 types of villains: the misunderstood villain, the historical villain, the henchman, the conspirator, and of course, the mad scientist. And after talking about these villains, we will return to a recommendation from the past: the rivals of Sherlock Holmes. I have completed the first series now, and I'm a little more informed on it. So let's find out about the villains in Doctor Who. We will begin with the misunderstood villain. Not all villains are as evil as they appear. Simon Rouse is Hindle in the 5th Doctor story, The Kinda. Hindle is the security officer as part of an expedition to the planet Devaloka to assess its suitability for colonization. When we enter the story, he is second in command to Sanders. Now, originally a crew of 6, 3 are lost or missing after they journeyed into the jungle. When Sanders leaves to explore the jungle, Hindle is left in command. Now, fear and the Mara have caused a journey into its sanity for Hindle. He will use a mirror to trick some of the native Kinda into thinking that he has trapped their souls, and will use them to do his bidding. With the Kinda as his soldiers, he captures the Doctor, Adric, and Todd. When Sanders returns, he gifts Hindle with the box of Jana. Fearing this, he has the Doctor open it, and cannot understand how the Doctor was left unaffected. Fearful of the ever-present jungle, he plans to destroy the dome. Sanders will preoccupy Hindle with cut-out people that he believes to be real. After finally looking into the box of Jana, his mind will be restored, and he will leave Devaloka. Historical villains. Danger from history. John Ringham is Tatoxel in the 1st Doctor adventure, The Aztecs. Tatoxel is the high priest of sacrifice, and with Barbara posing as the reincarnation of Yetaxa, she calls off the human sacrifice of the perfect victim. Tatoxel will declare her a false god, and he will try to poison her, only to be thwarted by the Doctor. Barbara will then turn the tables by offering him the poisoned drink. After the solar eclipse, Tatoxel will try to stab Barbara, but Ian catches him, and with Ian and Barbara returning to the TARDIS, Tatoxel will complete the sacrifice. Now we have to wonder, is Tatoxel evil, or just a product of his time, his place, and his religion? Henchmen. Some villains are content to work for others. John Challis is Scorby in the Tom Baker adventure, The Seeds of Doom. In the Antarctic, scientists find an extraterrestrial seed pod buried in the ice. When millionaire Harrison Chase finds out, he sends his henchman, Scorby, to get it. Successful in stealing the pod, he blows up the base to cover his tracks. But the Doctor and Sarah Jane survive and return to England to recover the pod. They are discovered and taken at gunpoint by Scorby to Harrison Chase. Even with a gun pointed at his head, the Doctor demands Chase surrender the pod. Later, Scorby will hold Sarah Jane's arm so that the crinoid pod can sting it. But the Doctor will save the day by jumping through a skylight. Scorby will recapture the Doctor and feed him into the recycling crusher. Scorby will continue to be the muscle for Harrison Chase until the crinoid grows so large that it is a threat to all. Now scared, Scorby will lose his tough demeanor and only think of escaping himself. But he will be killed by drowning when vines controlled by the crinoid entangle him. The conspirator. Villains who collaborate with or for dangerous allies. This time, Professor Kelman from The Revenge of the Cybermen. Professor Kelman is played by Jeremy Wilkin. Professor Kelman is an exographer, sent to the Nerva beacon to survey Jupiter and its new moon, Neophobos. Kelman will discover that Neophobos is really Voga, the planet of gold. He was paid in gold to ally himself with the Cybermen and lure them to be destroyed. In doing this, Kelman will obey the Cybermen and use cybermats to poison the crew on Space Station Nerva. Discovered by the Doctor, he is taken prisoner, only to be released by the Cybermen when they capture the space station. He will then transmat to Vogel, where he tries to find Voris. But civil war has broken out, and Kelman is captured by the opposing faction. With the truth out, he will try to aid in stopping the Cybermen in planting their bombs, only to die in a rockfall. The Mad Scientist, a sobering reminder that research has its responsibilities. This time, Mark Gatiss will play Professor Lazarus in the David Tennant story, The Lazarus Experiment. An elderly scientist, Professor Lazarus, will invent the genetic manipulation device to make himself young again. However, he will bring to the surface a series of molecules in his DNA, resulting in a transformation into a savage, multi-limbed monster. With his DNA fluctuating wildly, the creature will need large amounts of energy to maintain its form. To satisfy his hunger, he sucks the life force from his victims, leaving them a shrunken husk. The Doctor will use his sonic screwdriver to magnify a pipe organ, causing Professor Lazarus to fall to his death. We are going to return to a previous recommendation, The Rivals of Sherlock Holmes, on Acorn TV. Now, these stories are all written at the same time that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was writing the original Sherlock Holmes stories, so the story types will be similar to what Doyle wrote in the 1800s. The sets are simpler because the budgets are lower, and this is 1971. But sprinkled throughout all of these stories are Doctor Who actors. In one story, we have Roger Delgado and Carolyn John. In the story, The Affair of the Tortoise, there's an actor from The Carnival of Monsters, The Reboss Operation, The Ice Warriors, The Spearhead from Space, and John Levine, who plays Sergeant Benton, has a part in this story as well. So if you like looking for Doctor Who actors in other parts, you enjoy mysteries set in the 1800s, do watch The Rivals of Sherlock Holmes on Acorn TV. So enjoy your journey through time and space. Stay safe, remember to social distance, please wear a mask, and I hope to see and hear from all of you again very soon. Is he up against the white?
No, he's not up against the white. But I'm getting that good movement.